New tonight, 2 of the 17 people kidnapped last month in Haiti have been released. The victims are members of an Ohio-based missionary group. In a statement, Christian Aid Ministries says the 2 people released are, quote, safe, in good spirits, and being cared for. The organization did not reveal the identities of the people freed or the terms of the release. A historically violent gang in Haiti kidnapped the missionary group, including 5 children, on October 16th. The gang threatened to kill the hostages unless it got $1 million ransom for each person. Here now to help us understand these new developments and their ramifications is former FBI agent and hostage negotiator Phil Andrew. Phil, good to have you.
Good to be with you.
So information, as we mentioned, it's very limited. We don't know how or why these 2 people were released, but how do you suspect this went down?
I think they likely released folks that had some vulnerabilities. These are either children or perhaps there were indications that there was a pregnant or nursing mother that had been kidnapped. Those are very difficult to sustain in these hostage, confined, kidnapped situations, and they're the most vulnerable. So they're likely the ones that the negotiators were focusing on the most. But they're also very difficult to sustain in those environments. And likely the kidnappers were more engaged in a willingness to release them.
What does this mean for the other 15 who are being held? Does this indicate that they're safe, that they might be released as well? I assume this, if they were the vulnerable people among them, the babies, someone who was ill, someone who was elderly, that's good news that they were released rather than killed, right?
Absolutely. This is a good sign. And we're going to learn a lot more with these released hostages, assuming that they're not infants. We're going to be able to debrief them, understand what's taking place, the health and the welfare of each other hostage, perhaps indications of where and how they're being held, who they're being held by, what the conditions there are. So there's a lot to debrief them and learn from. But this is also a strong indicator that negotiations are working. We don't know the details of what the terms of the release were. I'm going to suspect that very little, or if anything, was exchanged for this. It may be medical, it may be food, it may be just dialogue that has resulted in them being released. Remember, too, that the international pressure is increasing, and slowly, very, very slowly, things are, the conditions in Haiti are allowing for greater international law enforcement activity. Incrementally, I mean, we still have a big vacuum and a crisis situation there, but as time goes, it allows for greater integration of international law enforcement.
You don't think any kind of a ransom was paid?
It's hard to say right now. I'm going to suspect not. It's very difficult to just pay piecemeal. That would be a difficult negotiation strategy to sustain. If I paid for two hostages, what am I saying about the price about the other hostages? And in general, the U.S. Does not pay for hostages. So those 2 factors make me believe that I don't think that money was exchanged here. Maybe medicine, maybe other things, but not monetary.
All right, Phil Andrew, thank you so much for your insight.
You bet.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.